Now we come to the builders of the most exclusive and expensive Harleys in the world, the Hamsters. These are the premier bikes of Sturgis, hand-built from the ground up. These guys separate true style from mere fashion and fad, and they do it by good customizing. The builders of these bikes are true artists in every sense of the word.
What's your name?
Donny Smith,
Where are you from?
Brooklyn Park, Minnesota.
I understand you're one of the premier bike builders in the States.
Well, I build a lot of bikes.
Who are the influences in your style?
Every area has their own. I guess in my area, I'm probably the influence in my area, and there's people like Arlen's big in California, and Dave Perewitz is big on the East Coast, and every area seems to have their own. So, we all look at each other's stuff and kind of pick the best of it and refine and do it a little different and pick out your own things.
How'd you get into it in the first place?
I guess, I don't know, I just didn't like my bike looking like everybody else's, so I just started changing it, and then pretty soon people started coming to me to do it. I was always ahead of everybody in my area. I always felt I was. I tried to be. That was my goal, and just designing, and we had a product line that we took, and went nationwide and did very well with it, and I guess that's where it all comes from.
What would you have to say to a young guy who wants to build a bike and he hasn't done it before? What would your advice be for him?
Have a lot of money. Bikes like this are, talking like 20, 30 grand to build a bike. Like, I mean, it didn't cost me that because I make everything, but if I had to make it for you, it would cost that. But they can do a lot with what is available from people like Arlen and Drag Specialties and people like that. Well, I designed the frame myself, and I made the gas tank is out of like 4 other gas tanks, like a pair of 3.5 fat bobs and a pair of 45 tanks that I sectioned up and put together. The rear fender, it started out as a front fender on like an FLH, and I cut out 2 inches out of the middle and put 3 inches in to get it a flatter profile to it.
What internal modifications have you done to the engine?
Well, it has the dual magnetos, which you can see, and it's an 80-inch with a crane cam, and it's just some head work done to it and balanced, and just the motor's basically stock cubic inches, solid lifters.
So now, most of the work you did in your own shop?
Yes.
Hi, what's your name?
Gary Franta.
Hi, Gary. How you doing today?
Just fine.
Can you tell me about this bike?
What would you like to know?
I'd like to know pretty much everything. What you've done to the engine, your chrome work, the paint job, pretty much the whole thing.
Well, it started out as an FXR 1986 vintage. One of the things I tried to do here was make it as clean as possible, hide the wires as best I could, fabricated an ignition switch on the other side that hides the coil and ran all the wires into it. And all the Allen heads have been, the knurl's been polished off and plated. Just about everything on there is either polished billet aluminum or chrome. The air cleaner was made out of a chunk of aluminum and machined to sort of match the fins on the motor. Hopefully it does that. It's sort of an eye catcher, kind of a one-of-a-kind item. Well, this is a set of collector pipes that I've modified sort of my own look, just to be a little different. The paint, I had a guy do it he's out of the Bay Area, a guy named Horst, does an excellent job of painting.
Draw a lot of attention with this bike?
Yeah, it gets a lot of attention. Sure does.
Hi, what's your name?
Bob Walters.
And you're also a member of the Hamsters?
Yes, I am.
Tell me something about the bike. What I want to know is basically what your goal was with the bike.
Well, the goal was to try to get a supercharger to look nice and run all at the same time, I would think. And there's been several applications. You just try to make it a little bit different, for the looks and the ability to run with a supercharger. The supercharger, it's a KF supercharger out of California. And our biggest problem in mounting this particular unit was the engine's a rubber mount, so the supercharger cannot be hooked to the frame in any way. It's got to be able to move with the engine. So it's a lot of engineering and mounts, and for the front of the engine for it, it had to be cut down and remachined. The induction system, the mounting of the carburetors, Everything was all handmade. There was no button parts except for the carburetors and the blower.
What is this supercharger actually designed for?
That was actually designed for a 4-cylinder car. I would expect that it was designed for a car to run like the Baja race.
Did you have to make any modifications to it to make it work with the Harley?
Oh, absolutely. It had to be, the drive had to be all remachined and fitted, and just nothing fits. Everything is had to be made over.
What kind of problems did you encounter with the frame fabrication to accommodate the supercharger?
We didn't change the frame at all. We actually worked the supercharger around the frame. That's an Arlen Ness frame on that bike, and it worked very well for our application.
What's your name?
Dave Perewitz,
Where are you from?
Brockton, Massachusetts.
How long you been a hamster?
Since day one.
You're one of the founding fathers.
Yeah, one of the founding fathers.
I can understand you're the premier bike builder on the East Coast.
Well, build a lot of bikes, that's for sure. I don't know about the premier, but yeah, we do a lot of bikes. My shop is Cycle Fabrications in Brockton, Mass.
What can you tell us about the engine modifications to this bike?
Well, basically, it's a 1983 shovel head, 80 cubic inch, and what I did when I got the bike, I tore the top end off and did the top end, pistons, rings, valves, and guides, and just cleaned everything up. And I put a mild cam in it, and that's about it.
And how about the pipes?
The pipes were made by one of the guys that works for me, Brad Lovely, and it looks a little different. Extremely loud.
Okay, who did the paintwork on this bike?
I did most all of the paint work except for the striping and the Harley on the tank. Roy Mason did that. He's one of the best that there is. Red is basically my favorite color, and red is the best-selling color. And then to get something bright in there to make it stand out, we threw a little of that pink neon and toned it down a little, and it's a good eye catcher.
Now, the wheel and brake assemblies, these are just stock?
Yeah, these wheels are basically stock FXR wheels, and we polish the outer edge and paint the centers, and then the front rotors are stainless steel, and they're polished, and the rear rotor is just a stock Harley rotor that's been polished. The calipers, the brake calipers are just painted black urethane, and the front brake calipers have those little anodized engraved inserts in them. My gas cap, that's my Hamster gas cap. See, I like to have something that says Hamsters on the bike, but I sell them so quick that I can't paint it on anymore.
Okay, now, a lot of the people going to watch this video might want to build a custom bike, but they've never done it. So what kind of advice have you got for a 16-year-old kid who wants to build his own?
Well, you know, it looks easy, and, you know, you can look at some bikes and they don't look like they would be an expensive venture, but one thing leads to another, and you can always figure on about 5 times more than cost-wise than you figure.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Dave Bell from Lansing, Michigan.
And you're a hamster as well.
Yeah.
Tell me about your bike.
Okay, the pipes are Arlen Ness, along with the fairing, which is kind of characteristic of the hamster bike. The front fender and rear fender and the side covers are also Arlen's, along with the handlebars. Probably the thing that makes this bike unique is the stretch in the frame and the gas tank. The rake is 35 degrees, so it's stretched out pretty good. It's probably got an 8-inch longer wheelbase than a stock lowrider.
How'd you go about stretching it? Where'd you cut?
Bob Walters did all the framework and the tank work. From the front of the lower part of the frame, the tubes were cut off completely. Under the gas tank, it was sectioned and 3 inches added. So that puts your steering neck forward, along with the accentuated rake, adds about 8 inches to the wheelbase. And the gas tank had to be lengthened and streamlined to accommodate the extra length in the frame.
What about the engine? What have you done to the engine?
Well, the engine's balanced blueprinted 100-inch Harley-Davidson motor with S&S lower end. We're running a Line Weber cam, adjustable push rods. Try to keep it pretty much Harley and yet pump it up as much as we could.
Anything else you'd like to point out on this bike?
Well, the spokes on the front wheel are all stainless steel twisted. They glitter pretty good going down the road.
Because of the twist.
Yeah, it acts like a strobe light.
Hi, what's your name?
Corey Ness.
How you doing, Corey?
Great.
Why don't you tell me something about your bike?
Okay, well, I started out as a 91 Harley Davidson FX RT, which is like a touring bike. It has a big fairing and stereo. And
What about the chrome work?
the pipes on this bike are a 2-in-1 collector that we make. It's available from Arlen Ness. The wheels were some custom chrome. They were just solid aluminum wheels. I went ahead and put them on a CNC mill, whatever, and they made a special cutout pattern, a little different from everybody else's. As far as the front fender and the side covers and the rear fender are all available from Arlen Ness. The gas tank was just an aftermarket tank that's available that we cut up and stretched it and to go along with the frame. We cut off the whole front section of the frame and we added like five inches worth of stretch, and we put a like 36-degree rake in it. That's why the bike appears so long. This particular bike usually comes with a narrow glide front end, and we went ahead and used some of our aluminum triple trees and made it into a wide glide front end, it's called.
What about the paint design?
The paint is just I wanted some somewhat flashy graphics, whatever, and picked out a few colors. A guy named Jeff McCann, who's been doing some paintwork for us for 15 years, he laid them on there for me. The changes of the wheels and brakes and stretching the frame kind of gives it a look by itself.
Tell us about the motor in this bike, Al.
Well, it's a 1340 Evolution. It's a 1986 motor. I built the whole bike from scratch, but I added a supercharger to it. And it's got a SU eliminator carburetor. And as you can see, it's belt driven off the motor on the left side here.
Why did you settle on this drive system?
Well, that's basically, the best way to do it, I think. The exhaust is originally started out a Bob made in California, and I modified it a little bit. And presently, I have my baffles out.
Yeah, and and what did that get you today?
Got me a warning ticket today by South Dakota's finest.
What else would you like to talk about on the bike?
It's a Arlen Ness frame, and I used 21-inch front wheel, 18-inch rear, aluminum wheels.
Tell us about the engraving. Who did that for you?
I have a local guy in right near Janesville, where my shop is, that does the engraving, and his name is John Bittner. He's pretty good. The whole all the black stuff, except for like the frame and the gas tank and the fenders, is black powder coating, which I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but it's a technique where it's electrical charged with electricity, and they spray like a powder substance on it, and it comes in different colors. And what it does, when they send it through an oven, it kind of flows out into whatever color is sprayed on, and it's a real durable paint. Now, this bike was built in 1987. I finished it just before Daytona, Bike Week at Daytona, and in March, and I won the Harley show there with the bike.
Well, what's your name?
My name's Joe Procopio.
Where are you from, Joe?
Boston area, Woburn it's called.
Woburn?
Woburn, Mass, right.
I understand you do specialize in engine work.
Oh, yeah, I do a little bit of work. My specialty is head work.
Okay, now maybe we better talk a little bit about your bike here. What kind of style you wanted and why?
Well, this is a 1988 FXR, and I had Dave rake the front end, 12 degrees on it, and on this tank, he chopped everything off the top and kind of sliced that all down and molded that in. Also, the pipes were custom made. They start out as bubs like David's did, and he took like 5 to 6 inches off the pipes and modified them. The rear fender is a late model Sportster, molded. The Sportster taillight's been molded into the back.
Who did the paint?
Dave Perewitz, Cycle Fabrication, did all the paint, and Roy Mason did the graphic work for it. The wheels, we taped them all off, and the edges and in the middle were aluminum. We had them all plated, and then taped everything off, and David painted them also plumb to match the rest of the bike. Pretty much said we built this so it would be more of a rider than my other bike. You know, I could have fun with this, even though I'm like an old woman. You know, I take 3 hours to clean it and ride it for half an hour, you know?
Now, do your parents know you're a hamster?
Oh, do they ever? Sure do. Yeah. They know it. They're proud of their son being a hamster.
How did you become the godfather of the Hamsters?
Oh, not really a godfather. Hamsters are just a bunch of friends.
Oh, that's what they call you.
No, just because I've been around a long time, I guess.
You are probably the most influential designer of Harleys in the world. How do you feel about that?
If it's true, it feels pretty good.
What's your lifestyle like?
Around motorcycles, that's my livelihood, and it's kind of like don't really have a job. Just fortunate to do something you like and make a living and meet people and go on motorcycle rallies, and it's good times.
So you love what you do?
You bet.
How long have you been doing it?
Oh, I've been in business now 20 years.
Can you tell me something about this bike?
This is a new soft tail that's fenders have been changed, and the paint, and a lot of handmade parts, and a lot of chrome, and just kind of dolled it up, I guess you'd say.
If you were to sell this bike, how much would it go for?
Oh, probably something like this, being a new bike and with all the chrome and everything, the value would probably be about $30,000. The fenders have been changed, and the gas tank has been narrowed, and the fairing added. The bike is completely taken apart. Frame has been molded and painted. Then the motor and the transmission and all that is completely disassembled and polished and chromed, and custom-made pegs and seats, and it's a pretty fancy bike.
What else should we talk about on this bike?
It has a lot of hand machine parts, like the triple clamps and the handlebar clamp, and the wheels are kind of different. They're 18-inch wheels, which you don't see very often, front and rear.
How many countries do your customers come from?
Everywhere, you name it.
Name some of the countries you have customers from.
Japan, Australia, England, just almost everywhere. France, a lot of French.
How does it feel to be you're the primary influence for bike builders. I mean, the premier bikes in the world. How does it feel to be in that position?
Yeah, it feels pretty neat. The nice thing about it is you can make a living doing something you like.
Sturgis attracts bikers and bikes from all over the world. And appearances don't matter much when you come to the rally. What matters is motorcycles. After all, there were 80,000 bikes rolling around the Black Hills. For 1 week in August, you could see the best bikes there were to see.